Controls ball in. It's still loose. And it's Lita!
Here's McAnuff, goes past a couple, into the box, get the shot off. Yes! We're at Wembley! After the ball in.
Oh, what a chance here! They've done it! Podolek! Lafondra looking to get Considine of Font. Lafondra away from David! 3-1 Reading! 3 points Reading!
Another EPR Watchalong, which is surely the biggest game of the season for us. No, it really isn't, is it? But we will be here for the duration, good or bad. And we've seen two changes to the team lineup today, with Lucas Jow coming back in and John Swift. No surprise, Matt, that we've seen Puskas and Elise missing out today, really.
Yeah, well, I think Puskas more of a surprise because I don't think any one of us expected Jow to be back. But I think more people may have thought that Baldock may have been given a chance. But yeah, no, it's at least hadn't been too great on the last few. But I mean, it's nice to see Jow back. He's probably playing on injections and stuff. Is it worth it at this point in the season? Who knows? But it's good anyway. I'm glad to see him back and playing. It should mean hopefully injury isn't too bad. So.
Yeah, for poor Mark, don't worry, we aren't feeling depressed. It's just that it's a Sunday, 12 o'clock kickoff, and the season isn't really got much in it anymore. But Alex, what is your score prediction for today?
I'm actually feeling quite upbeat now we've got here. I'm going to say we'll win 1-0 and somehow take it to next weekend.
You reckon? Well, if we do win today, we close the gap to Swansea down to 5 points, don't you? So actually, we'll be nearer to them than Barnsley. We haven't beaten Swansea since 2008. I don't want to put that negative vibe in there, Matt, but what is your score prediction today? Get your predictions in the comments, please.
Well, to counter that point, how many of this team was playing back in 2008 or in any of the previous games that we played? Not many, so it doesn't matter. I'm feeling positive as well. After seeing the team sheet, Swift back in at number 10, Jow up top, I'm feeling quite positive. I think I'm going to agree with Alex, a narrow 1-0 win. I am feeling quite positive, so yeah.
Yeah, they haven't been in great form as well, have they, Swansea? But they've got a player in their team that always bothers me, and that's Conor Horahan. I think he's a quality player for this league, Alex.
Yeah, Horahan was at Villa when they got promoted a couple of years ago, and did they sign him permanently, Swansea? I'm
not sure if it's permanent or not.
Yeah, I mean, he's a quality player, and they've got a lot of decent players in their side. We're very fortunate that Ayu's not playing today, of course. But yeah, they've been built on a very, very strong defensive base. So it would be surprising to see the game be a 3-2 thriller or anything, I think.
I'll take that, though. That would be at least entertaining, wouldn't it?
It would be very entertaining,
to be honest. Obviously, I'd rather see Reading win, but 3-2 will be... Just imagine 2 shots on target.
I've just watched. I just want to comment on this. I've just watched Liam Moore and the Reading team basically walk straight past the Swansea team because obviously not doing handshakes or anything like that at the minute. What's the point in that?
Yeah.
I don't know.
Is there really much point in all lining up and then walking past each other? It doesn't mean anything. You're like, it just seems a bit of a waste of time, doesn't it?
Giving a nod of appreciation to each other.
Yeah. Do you think there's
an ex-Reading target in that lineup as well?
Yeah. What was that, Alex?
Ex-Reading target for Jay Fulton in centre midfield. I think we were linked with him
under Clement. It was under Clement, wasn't it? I think it was under Paul Clement.
Last summer or the summer before.
Mm.
Yeah, and I remember he got derided because he wasn't being a good enough signing. So, I think he's had the final say on that one. Not that he probably gives a toss about it. But Panovich stood there trying to look like he's really pumped and up for the game. We know in the first 5 minutes what kind of mood the players are in today, won't we, Matt? Because if it's another slow start, yeah.
I mean, we've seen it so much this season, haven't we? The slow starts. I think it's boosted. It's boosted myself. I think it's boosted. Well, I'd hope it's boosted the fan base, the lineup that we've gone with today. But yeah, there's no there's no room for error anymore, is there? If they want to do anything, they simply have to win, and they need to come up fast.
Yeah, I personally think the playoffs are dead. I don't think that's a controversial take there, is it? I think it's just common sense. But we hope that something miracle happens. You never know, Alex D. I guess in football, nothing's impossible. Look at Barnsley staying
Nothing's
up.
impossible, right? Yeah, nothing's impossible. If there's some miracle and we do win today, then who knows? It's very, very unlikely, though. Yes, players just take Swansea lining up to kick off from the south stand side. Club 1871 end, whatever we're going to call it, and we're underway.
Lansley, you'd have your drum going right now, wouldn't you? You'd be that guy.
Going loud and proud.
Anyone not aware, Matt is the drummer in 1871.
You had to let it out, didn't you? You had to let the cat out the bag.
I'm sure people are definitely wanting to know who it is. So early free kick for Swansea.
So I just saw that stat come up there. That this is the first start for John Swift since the 6th of February. Do you think if he'd have stayed fit, we'd actually made it into the playoffs, Alex?
On his own? Yeah, probably. I mean, it's difficult to say, isn't it? But I think so. I think he's probably got the quality that we've... Oh, goodness, that was close. That was almost 1-0 within a minute.
I thought it was 1-0.
I don't know how Swansea didn't score from that. A free kick comes into the box and they miss a completely free header from 2 yards.
That should be 1-0. I don't know how he's put that wide.
How has he done that? He's got the whole of the goal to aim at because Raphael's just covering a tiny...
Is that Jamal Lowe, number 44? I think it might be.
No, it's not. No,
it was a really tight angle when you see it back, wasn't it? It was almost going out for a goal kick, but I should have scored there, surely.
Should be 1-0 down, shouldn't we? That's
maybe just let the man go as he wins a foul in midfield now, though. But yeah, that's a massive let off.
We'd say that though. It doesn't matter.
Yeah.
I'd just be lovely to see us finish off this season because we are 7th in the league. We're not dire. We're not terrible. We've actually had a pretty good season. I know the frustration about not getting into the playoffs, but I want us to get some half decent results going into the summer. And what are they doing with that carpet there? Sorry, but they're moving the carpet.
No idea what they're doing with it. They seem to be moving it. Did it roll up against after the...
Oh, is it the wind maybe blowing on the pitch?
Oh, Reading have just put that straight out for a goal kick.
Oh, it's a quality free kick there. Yeah.
I have to say I'm quite surprised that Lucas Yao and John Swift are both starting today. It feels like a real last roll of the dice when it's almost too late. It feels like a big last roll of the dice, you know.
I do kind of feel though it says a couple of things though, especially about the Zhao injury, because I mean if he can play on injections and stuff, obviously, you know, Liam Moore did it for a time last year. It means obviously he shouldn't really need surgery on his shoulder, which is good. But he
isn't looking injured by the way he's running around at all.
Yeah.
I mean, there's two possible solutions, or not solutions, but two possible elements to that. I guess is that either one, his injury isn't as bad as we first thought, or two, his injury is still quite bad. But Paunovic was so frustrated watching Puskas on Wednesday that he's basically turned to Zhao and said, like, I want you to play this weekend, whether you're injured or, like, you know, if you can play through it, I want you to play.
It also puts Puskas kind of in his pecking order as well, doesn't it? That a semi-fit Lucas Zhao goes in over him. You know, it's a pretty strong message almost to him, you'd think as well.
I'd pretty much say that every week anyway, even if both of them are fully fit.
Swansea just coming forwards outside the box here. Nicely taken there by Raphael.
No problem there. Yeah, the Puskas situation is going to go on and on. There's people saying, should we sell him? Should we keep him? We've got to find someone who'd want to buy him, first of all. I'd love to see him come good, but he just frustrates. Just frustrates me. He really does.
I think you'd probably be more inclined probably to keep him at this stage, unless you were going to get a fairly decent amount, which is unlikely, like you say, because you've got to. I think, you know, we're losing Baldock, and once you lose Baldock, you've got no one really there behind, unless you're going to get someone in for I know you're still going to be losing quite a lot of money, but even if you get a sum of around about 4 million or so, that's probably the point when you probably start listening, isn't it, to who offers? I would have thought, because
I think you'd at least consider the options, wouldn't you?
Yeah.
If that was the case, because realistically, Wood would be able to replace Puskas and Baldock if Puskas left for 4 million and you lose Baldock's wages off of the wage bill, possibly. Like, I think there's definitely an argument to be made that you could potentially buy 2 strikers and replace both of them.
Yeah, I mean, you look at Kiefer Moore, he cost 2.5 million. There's value out there that you can get. It's not easy, but it just worries me about. I don't think we've really got our scouting network. It's very varied because we picked up Josh Lauren, which is a really good signing. Morrison, good signing, but we then spend loads of money on players that don't work. It's
going to be very competitive, though, to make these kind of signings this summer, because no team, I don't think really any teams in the Championship are going to really be able to go out and spend a lot of money.
Aaron will, because he's mental. If he has the chance,
there's not going to be many teams. I think there's going to be a lot of teams fighting over a very small amount of players from the lower leagues.
Yeah, I get you mean.
100%. It's awful. I'm trying to watch it, and Swansea's kit kind of blends in, doesn't it, to the grass almost?
I think it's half because of the light, isn't it? It's because of the sun.
Well, yeah.
I agree.
I think it's Swansea deflected over the bar. Their kit, I think it's because their kit is very light, and the back of ours is white, and they basically just blend in against each other.
I think that Lansley's right there. I think it's the sun.
It's not helping matters at all.
No, you should really anticipate a bit of sun.
On the plus side, it's probably better than white on white and blue. It's probably better than their home kit on us.
It's amazing that they get that. I'm surprised that Swansea have managed to get this as an away kit, in all honesty, considering that their home kit is white, because this is, yes, it is a different colour to white, but it's still very light.
The fact that we're talking about that is a reflection of our performance so far in this one, really, isn't it?
Well, there's not been a huge amount happen so far. Swansea have just knocked that straight over the bar.
There has been for Swansea. They've looked decent enough, but
it's fine. Yeah.
I mean, they should be winning.
They're very pessimistic, the Swansea fans, though. Having listening to our preview podcast with Matt and Amy earlier in the week, and she felt that the Swansea fans were very, very pessimistic and down on their chances, especially of going into the playoffs. There didn't seem to be a whole lot of optimism for them for when they get into the playoffs.
Is some of that down to the fact that they just don't like their style of play?
Yeah, I think they're very like,
because they're so ingrained in the past.
Negative is the wrong word, but I think they're very reliant on having a very good defence.
It's almost like us when Jaap Stam was in charge, wasn't it? And it's like that combined with their drop of form in the second half of their season. You look at them at the start of the season, you were thinking they could be on for automatics, and now they're almost in the lower echelons of the playoffs.
I think a lot of that is that you when you're playing this style of football, it doesn't take much for your form to really turn as well. Because if you're reliant on that's a ball over the top, which is just sailed straight.
Absolutely nowhere near anyone.
It doesn't take much for your form to turn when you're playing with a defensive style of football, because as soon as you lose that form, you're basically relying on your strikers to turn up when they haven't necessarily been able to do that all season. So it doesn't take much for it to swing around when you're playing this style of football.
Obviously, AU being out is a massive blow for them, though, isn't it? Because
he's on the bench today.
Yeah, but he's not starting, is he? If he's fit and available, he can make a big difference.
They are a different.
I love saying whenever we play them, when we played them with Sky earlier in the season, it was basically AU versus Reading. They are absolutely in love with him. It's almost a great pass there.
That was just too long, wasn't it?
Yeah. That's the first thing we've done that actually look like it might be a possibility vaguely.
Yaku, interesting as well, in that passage of play, Yaku Mate almost came alongside Joe, both of them playing on the shoulder of the defence. So whether or not we're almost playing sorry?
Yeah, that's exactly what we wanted to see.
Oh, yeah.
He's come back and he hasn't been. I just wonder about Yaku Mate. He's not had the same energy. He's not had the same enthusiasm. He doesn't look quite right. I just wonder if there's something else going on in his life that we just don't know about. He doesn't look the same person at the moment. What you always think about Yaku Mate is energy. And maybe he's just carrying an injury that just restricting him as well.
It's probably been quite a frustrating season though for him, hasn't it? You know, being out injured so much. And to be fair, he's still, I think before today, I think it's 22 games and 10 goals from in the league, which is an incredible return. You know, from 22 games to still hit double figures, and he's probably just frustrated more than anything else. You know, he'll know the quality in the team. He knows his own quality. You know, and the fact he's not been able to contribute so much as he heads on. Oh, that's a foul. Come on, Raf.
That's got to be, hasn't it?
Playing.
Look at this.
He's just playing for
taking advantage.
What's he doing there?
I don't know what the ref is.
A free kick there. There we go. Gather with the ball.
It's just like all the Reading players were wanting a free kick there, and the ref just doesn't give it. They're just
I think
watching
he's
him.
given an advantage, hasn't he? Instead,
No, yeah.
Yeah, but the problem is he slowed the game down because everyone was waiting for it. So if you take that 1.5 seconds, 2 seconds out of the momentum, it completely kills it.
Well, yeah,
it was odd. Yadam hasn't been in great form in the last couple of weeks, has he? He
not
hasn't
going
looked...
forward anyway.
No,
he's not been the same player going forwards. But
having said that, he might set up a goal in a minute. So, let's hope that is the case.
A lot of long crossfield balls going astray at the moment. We're trying quite a few, but not many are actually coming off, are they? They're all just either going into the keeper's arms, going out for throws, going out for goal kicks at the moment. It's interesting though, because we're trying them quite a lot, but it's just not quite coming off at the moment.
Settling into the game a little bit now, though. It's not quite. Everyone wouldn't say it was complete Swansea dominance because it wasn't, but we weren't actually showing any attacking threat.
Is it me the way, or do we seem to play Swansea at the end of the season an awful lot?
Yes.
In the last 3 or 4 games.
Yeah, I don't know why that is.
Didn't we play them? Was it last year we played them in our
last game? It was the last game when it was 4-1, which we managed to miss about 4 1-on-1s when it was 1-1, I think.
I think that was one of the games when I didn't bother watching at the end of last season once we knew where we were going to finish.
I can tell we weren't very good.
I can.
Thankfully, over the years, I've managed to miss quite a few of these like end of season batterings. I think I missed Ipswich Ipswich at home as well a few years ago. Under was it Clement?
Oh, I tell you a game that I was the complete opposite that I missed was when we played Villa in the Premier League and Steve Sidwell scored 2 goals. I think that was the pinnacle of the 106 and then it just started to slowly go down, and I missed that game because I was watching Hamburg.
Not West Ham. West Ham on that was that's got to be up there surely. West Ham.
Yeah, the West Ham game was definitely the peak. I think the
6-0 Oh yeah. That was after that, though, wasn't it?
No, I think that was before, wasn't it? That was New Year's Day.
No, I don't know. Maybe I think what the problem is because I wasn't there. It's got bigger than what it was in my head. I just it's hard to imagine, especially now.
Goal kick to Reading. No, out for a throw in.
Yeah.
So it's that. Just looking at the table, then Norwich and Watford promoted. Norwich not quite won the title, but they can win the title next week, can't they?
Yeah, good. I'm going to really enjoy that, Alex. The fact that Norwich can win the Premier League. God, they'd love that. Win the Championship with my Norwich supporting girlfriend. That's going to be such a fun afternoon because, in all likelihood, Norwich will beat us. You never know.
You never know, but it does seem like Norwich are probably going to get the better of us. You would imagine
they normally do recently, don't they? So. That was a good win for them yesterday against QPR as well.
Yeah.
Oh, Dickey had an absolute shocker for one of the goals. Absolute shocker.
Dickey.
Sorry?
Rob Dickey.
Yeah. For QPR. Absolute shocker.
QPR now.
Yeah.
I didn't see the goal. I didn't see many of the highlights yesterday.
Reading just knocking it forwards here, and it's out of play on the halfway line. Honestly, there's not really been a lot which has happened. I know we've got we've not got like a masses of chance to get into the playoffs today, but really hasn't been anything which has kind of happened yet for Reading.
No,
I don't know whether to be surprised or not.
So we're
Jamie,
not
so
playing,
slow. I don't know whether he's talking about us or
so
whether he's
slow.
talking about the Reading performance. Please let us know, Jamie, if you
Yeah, which one is it?
Which one is it?
I accept either. Yeah. It's so predictable. We're just lacking any energy.
I think the more games we're watching over this, over the last 5-6 weeks, the more you can tell that the size of the squad has just absolutely ruined us at the end of the season.
Yeah. Well, you look at, I think there was a stat in the week, wasn't there, that came out about, I think, was it 25?
We've used the least players in the Championship this season, and it includes the fact that we've used Onan, who's only played one game, Tetek, who's played about 3 sub appearances, Araruna, who's played twice, Watson, who's played once. I think it's I think we've got 4 or 5 players who've played less than 3 games, and actually in reality we've only got. I think we've been working with like a squad of probably 16 or 17 players.
Yeah, which in this season, I mean, in another season you might look back.
You might have got away with it.
You might have got away with it, but this year, Lowe shoots over the bar. In a season like this, it's been even more condensed. You've got a normal Championship season in about 1.5 months less than usual. It's just been absolutely. It's just killed them. It's killed them, and you can see it right now. And I think that does have to be taken into account. When you look at
Swansea having a shot there, and it went nowhere near. Just the quality isn't there from either team so far, is it?
Not quite yet.
I think
it's hard for both teams though, because Swansea, they know they're not getting automatic. They know they've been in really bad form. We know realistically we're not going to get into the playoffs, but we also don't want to finish the season poorly. When your heart's not in it, when you've put a whole 8-9 months into it, that's good.
It's a big come down, isn't it?
Yeah, it is. And people say, "Oh, you should just continue to play," but
I think mentally
the whole goal of the season to get into the Premier League, and
mentally it's very difficult, isn't it? And I mean, I think, John, there's definitely a point that I'd be very surprised if they're at the training ground basically just saying, "Don't worry about it, guys, it's absolutely fine." But at the same time, I'm sure the players are probably well aware now that the chances of making the playoffs are very, very slim. And when you're playing against a team like when you've got a run in of Swansea and Norwich in 2 of your final 3 games, who are both above you in the table, it's going to be very tough, and I think it's going to be very difficult. We're not going to see Reading come out and dominate teams like these at the minute, especially given the run of form and probably the confidence that's running through them as well.
Free kick there, and we gave away a free kick. So there's decent ball into the box there from Swift, but
Jamie just confirming it wasn't us he's talking about, which is nice.
Oh, okay, that's fine. I'm fine either way. Doesn't bother me. This is really. I don't know. Are we playing better than we did against Luton? Because if you put
it's a similar kind of level. I have to say, I'm a little surprised that we didn't see a bit more rotation today.
I would like to have seen. I would like to see half an hour today. What? Bulldog?
I would have liked to have seen a Luca or Bulldog start today.
What, Bulldog over Jow?
Not necessarily over Jow, but I didn't. To be fair, I wasn't really thinking that Jow would play. But I'm a little surprised that we didn't see someone like a Luca, because the whole comments. Holmes has just been beaten very easily there.
And that's a booking.
It's a free kick and probably a yellow card against Tom Holmes. I'm just a little surprised because the comments that we've all had over the last 5 or 6 weeks have been around the fact that the team looks very fatigued. And even now, we're not really rotating that many players when we could.
Mm-hmm.
Stop Bulldog, Kate. I probably would have started Bulldog today if I'd had the opportunity. I think he's been fine when he's come off the bench, in all honesty.
Not ahead of Lucas Jow, though.
No, not
over Lucas Jow. Bulldog ahead of Lucas Jow.
But I don't think anyone expected Lucas Jow to start today.
I know, but that's you can't start him ahead of him. So
no, but we were all under the impression that Lucas Jow was out for the season.
Yeah, I know, but he's not, is he? That's my point. I'm just saying that he is there. So there's no way you can start him ahead. Absolutely no way.
There's also but then there's also the possibility that you could have started Bulldog instead of Mate.
No.
I think Baldock's been fine in the last.
He does well against tired players. That's what happens now.
Yes,
That's
but we're
why
at goal. That's a terrible pass out from Raphael, straight to Swansea, who've put it
He
into
hasn't done one of those for a while, actually.
box, but cleared away, thankfully.
Here's a question for both of you. Where do you reckon Baldock's going to end up next year? Because obviously he's not going to have a contract at Reading. Actually, this is good play here. Zhao bring it forwards.
Come on, Lucas.
Oh, nicely
Come on,
done,
Zhao.
boy. Okay, that's not bad.
Lucky.
That's better.
He wants
That's
to fill there
That's
as
the
well.
game
He
really
thinks
for Reading.
I don't think it's a free kick, though, Lucas. I really don't think that is a free kick at all. But it's much better play there. See Swift with the little pass there. We've missed him so much. I mean, it is quite wide, but it's good to see him having a shot.
Yeah, and great running as well. I mean, that's what we saw at the start of the game, wasn't it?
Yeah.
Him bringing the ball forward, his hold-up play and stuff is what obviously had been lacking the last few weeks. But I think it'd be great for Lucas to get a goal today, to be fair. If he can get a goal and just reach that 20 league goals, I think, from this season, that would be so big. So I think he'd be kicking himself if he gets so close to 20 league goals and not quite get there.
No, I agree. 20 is a good mark, isn't it? It's kind of psychological barrier.
It's definitely a lovely run.
This is a lot better now at the moment.
That was a fantastic run. Was that a Minamoto with that run?
Yeah.
The final ball was not good.
Good defending.
Yeah, 20 goals is definitely it's a big psychological barrier, isn't it?
Yeah. Absolutely. And I think
prediction, Alec, that's my that's my prediction. We will see.
I'm quite optimistic about next season. I have to say, I think
the summer is going to be. Honestly, I think the summer could go any number of ways, and it's so difficult to be able to predict it at the minute.
Say that every season.
But Swift just about to. Well, we'll see. Is he going to whip it in? Is it going to be a good one?
Sky has spent
holding here by all players here. It's just incredible.
It was a good ball in, good defending from Swansea.
If I had to put some money on a prediction right now, I would say we'll be between 10th and 13th next season.
It's really really impossible to say because we don't know who we're going to sell. We don't know who we're going to sign. Well, if we get away with financial fair play for another season and then put ourselves even more in debt, we could actually go for playoffs again. Oh, hi, mate. Yeah, good for you to get promotion. You do deserve to go up. What's your thoughts on your manager? Because he's transformed you. I spoke to one of your Watford fan sites and they got really agitated because they seemed to think he was the next Pep Guardiola, which was a bit of a surprise. But he's done a great job. But you have got an incredible squad. Do you think that maybe you should be up there anyway?
He just unlocked the team's full potential.
Yeah, I think he has. I think he has done that. But I'm not sure. I think they said something along the lines of no other manager could have done this. And I don't believe that. Yeah.
That's fair. That's fair enough.
Swansea with the ball at the back here, just playing it around Swansea style. We've nullified
him well in the last 10 minutes.
I think we've limited Swansea much more in the last 10 minutes. Yeah. With the obviously with it coming to the end of the season, we're starting to see teams get relegated and promoted now. Not only out of our league, but obviously from other leagues as well. So which sides are you looking forward to playing again, Matt, next season?
Because they're in League Two, and I've got to say I love that.
Bye to them. They've not been confirmed yet, but Peterborough look like they're nailed on to return to the Championship. Obviously, they've been out for 6 or 7 years now, haven't they? I think they're an interesting one. Obviously, if we can get back to games next year, it's a closer game. We always look for them at the end of the day. Hull, I don't think I'll be going back up there in a hurry, but I think Peterborough's an interesting one. I think it'd be interesting to see how Sheffield United do next year as well. Having such a tumultuous season in the Premier League this year, how do they respond next year? Obviously, got a good win yesterday.
It's going to be very difficult for Sheffield United, I think, without Chris Wilder.
Hugely.
I think Swansea. straight out for a corner.
No.
Yeah, I think it'll be very difficult for Sheffield United without Wilder next year.
Yeah, and like I think I think you've seen almost like obviously the three Premier League teams that have come down. We've seen a gulf in quality between them and I think the rest of the league this year. Even Bournemouth. At the end of the season, and it looks like they're probably crosses in. Raphael claims very well. Almost looks like obviously you might have a situation where you've got all three Premier League teams that are relegated going straight back up. I just hope that doesn't happen next year. I don't think it will, because I think West Brom are pretty poor anyway. If they keep Allardyce, they might have a better chance. But Sheffield United, they after having such a tough season this year, and their talisman when they went up, obviously Billy Sharp, getting longer in the tooth. It's going to be really tough for them, but opens up the league again massively, I think, for those looking in. So
I think it'll be. And which team are you wanting to come up from the playoff race, Paul? League One.
Sunderland. Definitely, 100% Sunderland. Absolutely, definitely them. That's because of my dad. Also think that's a club that no team deserves to be anywhere because they get what they've delivered on the pitch. But Sunderland in League One, you look at the size of that club, they definitely should be in the Championship at least.
I think you'll be in a very large minority wanting Sunderland in the Championship, in all honesty.
No, but look at the size of their support. It's way bigger than ours. You look at.
I don't disagree. They should be in the Championship, but I think in terms of looking at the race for the playoffs, I think there will be very few Reading fans who want Sunderland in the Championship next year.
I know, but
given that Oxford are currently in the playoff race.
Yeah, I don't even know who else is in the League One playoff race, to be honest.
It's Sunderland. I think at the minute it's Sunderland, Blackpool, Lincoln, and Oxford.
Yeah, Oxford have got.
Oh, definitely not Oxford. Definitely don't want them. I want them to go back.
It doesn't look like they'll be in though, because teams around them have about 2 or 3 games in hand. So it looks.
I think Charlton have still got a chance as well with Nigel Adkins.
Yeah, Charlton are just outside.
Just
out as well.
I hope that we do get picked apart on the transfer market because we desperately need to sell some players, Jacob. I think
that's a nice fall in.
Making good pass in. Oh, well, taken by the goalie. Quite easy, really. Yeah, I think we desperately need to sell some players like Elise. I can't see him being here next season. I think we might have to even take a hit on someone like Lucas João, because is he going to replicate what he's done this season? I'm not sure. I could definitely see Puskas going. Holmes he's having a bit of a struggle today, isn't he?
He's getting beaten by who's up front for them there.
Yeah,
and number 20, whoever that is.
Yeah, you're right here. The Watford fan, Grogsy. Yeah, Lincoln would be cool, actually. You're right there. If it wasn't I'm biased, Lincoln would be cool. Yeah.
5 years ago, I think it was 5 years ago. It would be really cool to see Lincoln up there. They'd be very small.
Is that Cowley? Is it Cowley?
It was the Cowleys until sometime last season.
Okay.
It's Michael Atherton now.
Yeah, I really don't know what's going on in League One. I don't pretend to.
Yeah, Michael Atherton is managing Lincoln at the minute.
Oh, okay.
Lincoln
would be cool.
Yeah, just going back to Jacob's question. We were kind of saying it. That's just out wide here for Swansea.
Oh shit!
Just Yedom has just about done enough there.
Great tackle by
He's defended that really well, Yedom.
Yeah, he's done a good job.
Very, very well.
Didn't dive in.
There's so many ways, Jacob. I think that Reading could go in summer. We could end up going out and not really selling anyone, with just Richardson and Elise leaving, which I think is probably the most likely. But obviously, as you say, with the finances, we could easily see, more Puskás, maybe even like someone like Swift leave as well, if the money's right for them. And I wouldn't even rule out someone like Ajaria leaving if a team comes in with £6 million or something.
I think that's the key point here. Is we've got a great session here.
Should you have maybe shot there?
Yeah, I think This has been kind of part of our game now for about 7 or 8 weeks, hasn't it? We're too concerned about losing the ball once we're outside the area.
That's good there from Josh Long.
Brilliantly there. Stunning bit of play to keep the ball. But
yeah,
I do think kind of on that point that you made, Alex, I think the key point in it is that if the money's right, anyone will go, won't they? At the end of the day, you know, if you get the right offer, you're always going to listen, and you'd be stupid if you didn't.
Well, the problem is Aroni doesn't do that. That's the issue, isn't it? Because I honestly think that we are in severe danger of a 12-point deduction next season. We're continually spending way more money than what we've got. If we have a 12-point deduction, do you think we'd stay up?
Come on, Yak! Yes! Come on, Yak! Oh, there we go!
Come on, Yak!
What a header!
That's how we go. And that is him cutting across, which he hasn't done since he's come back into the team after injury. And it works.
And
John Swift,
can we just have a bit
again? That is why
the ball from Swift is so stunning. I mean, the ball from Swift is absolutely on a dime. It's absolutely perfect from Swift. Great play from Zhao on the hold up. And just the ball from Swift is brilliant. And Yak, that's a fantastic.
It's a great run.
You could almost say it's
quality header as well.
It's a brilliant header. That's stunning. And I mean, you know, we spoke about the amount of time Yak's been out this season. You know, this is his 23rd game, and that's his 11th goal now, you know, in the league. When you miss a player like him for such a length of the season, it's tough, you know. And Swift, who delivered the ball, 2 players.
Yeah. You've got the 3 players that you want to link up: Swift, Zhao, and then on to Mate. It's the textbook goal, which we have scored quite a few times when those 3 link up. And it's frustrating we haven't been able to have Swift in the team, because he does those moments. You know he can do it. You know he can find a pass. And Mate, I think Mate believes the ball's coming when he's in the team. He believes in that moment.
Yeah, absolutely.
You got to say, by the way, Mate's got, what was it, 11 goals? You said, Matt.
Yeah, 11 goals and 23 now. That is including today's game.
If he'd played 40 games this season, I think he probably would have had as many goals as Lucas Zhao.
He certainly could be near. And that's when you think, you know, you lose a player like him. You know, people say about optimism for next season. This is why I think we've got to be optimistic. You know, we've got fantastic players in this team. Like Lucas Zhao, you say, is he possibly going to do this again next season? Well, who knows? But I mean, Paunovic has been able to get this out of him this season. I think that's one thing Paunovic deserves a lot of credit for, actually getting the most out of Lucas Zhao. And you look at Yaku Mate with the goals he can contribute with. You bring in a winger, you bring in a replacement for Elise, or obviously for Richards. It's, you know, we're all talking about hypotheticals, but I mean, I think if people want reason to be optimistic for next season, that's the key.
I mean, Steve has got a good point here. All of a sudden, the dream is on.
Yeah.
The playoffs are back in play.
You know, it can change in a second, but let's just enjoy it whilst it's there, right? We've seen a goal
with 2 to play.
We've seen a goal, and we've seen a good goal. You know, it wasn't just a scrap. I mean, it really matter. I didn't care if it's a scrappy goal, but it gives it an extra edge, doesn't it? If it's a nice team goal.
It's a fantastic run by Mate. I've just you know, just thinking back to that. It's just a great run, because he's fainted back to the back post and then just cut back in.
Yeah,
he completely makes a bad defensive mistake there, because that's what kind of the whole season the team's built on. I mean, they've been called down quite easily there.
Surprising, but I mean, I think you got to give credit to Yak, like Alex said.
Oh yeah,
like the feint to the back, he completely dumbfounds the defender. It's a brilliant piece of movement by him as a.
You can't say that. That's impossible. It's the power, and also the position they put it. Could well be. Yeah, I think, Eric, you're probably right, because would they have given us another 6 points or 7 points? Yeah, I think they would have. Definitely. Yeah.
I agree. In those games where we've struggled against the teams lower down in the table, your Wickhams, your Birminghams, your Prestons, would we have picked up a win when we've drawn, or would we have picked up a draw when we've lost? I think so. Like Swift and Mate are just that little bit of extra quality, aren't they?
Mm.
Yeah, it's those moments that you want them to stand up, isn't it? Because, if we'd had Swift playing in maybe that Barnsley game, maybe that could have made a difference. And not just those games, though, it's over a whole season. Frustration with Reading, isn't it? We seem to get quite near to it, and then it just doesn't happen for one reason or another. Going back to the Yap Stam season, we never know what would have happened if we'd got into the Premier League. We would have got battered. I know that, but financially, it would have made such a huge difference.
You've got to think if someone out there has got some kind of magic cure for Swift's injury worries.
Well, just our team's injury worries. It's not been Swift; it's been systemic across the team, hasn't it?
This season, but I mean, Swift across his career, has always had those kind of repeated injury concerns. This is a good point from Steve. Like, we're still talking very large, unlikely scenarios here. What are the differences in goal differences between us and Swansea?
Swansea are 17. We've got 12, and I think that's live at that's live at the moment. So
if
we need a 5 goal.
Get another goal, it would be 16-13.
Yeah,
and obviously they'd have to lose 2, and we'd have to win 2. So if we won 2-0 today, if goal difference could come into it still at the end of the season.
Yeah.
Eric here with a point about, do you think Mayte could go in the summer? I think all our players could. Not all go, but they're all available for a right fee.
Exactly.
It makes sense to say that, but Irene doesn't do anything logical. Kim said, here's an opportunity here. Attacking. Lucas Giles played really well today. I mean, he's put that pass out. It's just, I hate football. But
I think Mate's really come into his own this season and kind of found the position as well, which has helped. Obviously,
in the last season,
probably in the last season as well. But I mean, as Eric says, he's had double-digit goals. I think it's 3 years in a row now.
Yeah. 3 in a row.
And he all he really does is score goals. He doesn't. We haven't really ever found, before at least the end of last season, I don't think he'd ever really found which position he preferred playing, striker or right wing. But ever since he's been out on that right wing, he's been very, very effective, but he still gets the goals for you.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. Yeah, with Mate, you have to accept sometimes in some games, you'll think, I'm not quite sure what he's doing there. But then he will deliver goals that you think, I'm not sure how he's done that as well. So you have to accept the rough and the smooth with him. He's not going to be a technically incredible player, but that's not going to happen, is it, Alex? You just what you want is players with his energy every single week.
Mm. Yeah, absolutely. And when you look at him, you almost, it's a little bit like Glenn Little looking back in the years, isn't it? Not overly technically gifted, but I mean, he has moments of brilliance. Obviously, has a lot more goals in him than Little did, but it's the same kind of player. But you have him fit for the whole season. Yeah, it's going to make a huge difference.
If we can beat Swansea, though, the playoffs technically would still be on. I guess that's a good thing because we're going to the last few games of the season with something on it in a positive way, because for the last few years it's all been, can we avoid relegation? We kind of knew that we would, but to have that moment to beat them since 2008, we haven't done it yet. There's still a long way to go, but I just want to beat them. They just always seem to get something over us, Alex.
Yeah, that playoff final still stings, doesn't it? I mean, I can't, honestly, I really can't remember many games where I've seen us beat Swansea ever. I think that this Sammy Baldock fan page, it possibly might be.
I think it's his mum.
I think it might be Sam Baldock's mum.
Yeah, I think it might be.
If it is, do you reckon we can get them on an EPR podcast?
I reckon, yeah, that's the way forward, isn't it?
I'm sure she'd love to come on.
I'm sure she would, yeah. I'd love to ruin that. In an ideal world, in my world, which is no one else's in Reading FC world, I would like us to beat Norwich, but then Watford also lose. So then they win the title as well. That would make my life so much easier.
Wouldn't it be so much nicer for the season as well?
What's that?
Well, it'll be so much nicer for the season because you'll have actually the championship title decided on the last day. We would still potentially be in the playoff run on the final day. It would just be so much more interesting rather than everything wrapped up, title, promotion, playoffs and everything.
Great question. At what point do you believe that we could make the playoffs?
When we've done it.
Okay, well, that's far too, what's the word, Paul? That's far too realistic.
Reading FC, they just break your heart too much, don't they?
I'm going to say if we go 1-0 up against Norwich next week and Derby are beating Swansea, then I'll start to believe that there's a possibility, a decent possibility.
Even a draw, because Swansea.
Oh yes, if Swansea aren't beating Derby and we're beating Norwich, then I'm going to say we've got a good chance at that point. Yeah, but there's a long way to go to get to that point still.
Yeah. I tell you what, the amount of bots that we get off Facebook is quite amazing.
Lee,
I know we're 5 points behind them, Lee, but the point is, if Derby get a point against them next week, say we win today, Derby get a point, we beat Norwich, then it starts to become interesting.
That's a lovely pass out wide.
Come on, Omar.
Oh, it's pull in.
Come on,
it's all still a little bit
too tight. That was too tight, wasn't it?
It's all still a little bit too slow as we get to the penalty box.
I think some of that's down to Swansea's defending, though, as well. Though they get back quickly into shape.
I think most teams are doing that against us all season, though, aren't they?
I'm his biggest fan. Biggest fan. No one is bigger than me.
Only for 2 more matches. Oh, that should be 2-0. Well, maybe that's pushing it.
I think that's a bit harsh, but more in the corner. Yeah. That Barnsley goal yesterday.
Poor back pass, and just it's a shame that it's a very, very good opportunity for Zhao. Just pouncing on that back pass just doesn't.
Yeah, it's not a terrible shot, but it's not.
No.
Yeah, it's not great.
No, it's pretty routine for the keeper, really, down to his left.
He hasn't shanked it wide or anything, so that's good.
He's got it on target. He's
asked
the questions. The ball comes into Mate again. Can't get his head to it. So all looking a lot better at the moment. I mean, the play's been a lot better. I know, again, it's really the first time we've seen, Swift, Ejaria, Yak, and Zhao all on the pitch from the start of the game in quite some time. But I mean, it's looking a lot better. It's looking, it's almost like it's looking a little bit more like the performances we were seeing back at the start of the season, almost solid at the back and pretty clinical going forwards.
I tell you what, it does make you realise that when teams concede a goal and they're not on a great run, they look so fragile. You look at Swansea since they've conceded the goal; they've been doing things that really quite poor at times.
Great win, and it's Maytown the left again. He can get a shot here. He's just
it's a penalty.
It's not.
No, it's not. It's a great.
Honestly, from the light and the shadow and the kits, I've just got no idea what's going on. Almost
it's definitely not a penalty. That one.
It was a great tackle.
I take it, but it's not.
Yeah.
I never knew you guys had so much Welsh blood in you.
I mean, if I was in the stadium, I'd be giving it the big one to the ref for not giving a foul, of course. But
I'm hugging a daffodil as I sit here. Yeah.
He's got it again on the edge of the box.
Give him the ball there, hasn't he?
Now,
come on, Swift.
Just get the shot away or something.
Knock it.
Motor blocked. Got a corner though.
Anyway, isn't it? So.
I mean,
it's just a little bit tight on the edge of the box, isn't it? We can't quite create that extra 1 yard of space, but it's still decent, though. I mean,
very good. And I mean, he's probably getting.
He just forward.
He gets the ball.
No, I'm not sure actually. I'm not sure.
I don't think I was that outlandish calling for a penalty there.
No, I don't think it was. I think you might have got it right, Alex. I think we might have both got that wrong. I think that could have been a penalty. Yeah. Yeah.
I'm not in the penalty camp there, unfortunately, with you boys.
Fair enough. Corner here from Swift. Come on, a second now would be perfect, wouldn't it?
There was a push on. Was there
Oh,
not a push there on Zhao?
it's a decent header as well from Joe, but
Hmm.
easily cleared there. Don't get caught on a
Absolutely
counter here, Reading. Do not get caught on a counter.
Only a minute till half time. This would be a terrible time to concede.
Especially as Swansea haven't really been
just
in
had
it.
a first half hat trick.
Really, for Burnley.
I'm going to have to just double check.
Wow.
3-0 to Burnley after 45 minutes.
Okay, that was not in my predictions.
I was going to say, can I just forfeit our league now? Because since Christmas, when I was like in the top 3, I've just absolutely plummeted. I moved out of the top 15 the other. I can't.
It's a very internal chat there. Let's move away from that one. Yeah. So Swansea pushing forward here. Did not concede it. Oh,
Did this show how much injury time there was? Well, 1 minute.
1 minute.
Yeah.
Free kick Reading. We should be able to
Fullback masterclass of how to win a cheap free kick there.
Honestly, this has not been a terrible performance by any means.
No.
This has been pretty good.
He's showing the push on. I think
That's very soft.
Yeah.
If that's
I don't think that's a penalty.
Not
No.
quite.
No. If you had VAR, no.
I still think it would be very soft. Even
No.
the VAR, that would be soft.
Yeah.
But another shot on target, the header from Liam Moore. We've had a few now.
I think we've played relatively well, in all honesty, so far.
Yeah,
Right.
I'd say it's a
Like if
6.
the cliche it may be a cliche, but if you were watching this as a neutral with no knowledge of which team was in the playoffs and which wasn't, you would say Reading were a team in the playoffs here.
Yeah,
Swansea
probably would at the moment, yeah.
I can definitely see where all that pessimistic viewpoints for the Swansea fans is coming from.
Yeah.
It wasn't
they didn't look that good.
no, that wasn't
they
it wasn't a
lost hope.
particularly good performance from them for a team
There's
which
nothing
is
in midfield from them. It's very odd for Swansea. It's kind of, I don't know what it is. It's anti-Swansea football, which I thought when we played them in the first game, they don't play that traditional style. And I remember talking to Swansea fan on the preview podcast that we did earlier in the season. But it is 1-0 at halftime. Yaku Mate getting his first goal in quite a while now. What do we sum up with that first half, Matt? We're going to give it a 6 or a 7 out of 10, maybe?
I would probably say 7. I mean, it was very solid. I mean, like we got our foot into the game after 5-10 minutes, and since then, I mean, Swansea had that one early chance, which, they arguably should have put in at the back post. But I mean, since then, they've just been non-existent in this game, and I mean, giving it away left, right and centre. I mean, we've been playing it around nicely. Obviously, we were trying a lot of cross-field balls early on, which weren't quite coming off. But I mean, we were controlling the game, and brilliant goal from Yak to put us one up. I think it's been a very good half, really. It's refreshing after the last few weeks, anyway. So.
Yeah, I mean, considerably better, I'd say, than the Luton performance, Alex, because that was miserable.
Well, yeah, I mean, we're not like let's not dwell on that for too long. But
I'm just saying, at least it's moved forward. At least it's a positive.
Yeah, today's performance has definitely been, good, hasn't it? And I think, as much as we all would love to say it's, as much as we would all love to say, a win against Luton and things would look so much different, it's happened that we didn't.
It's relevant.
But today's performance has been relatively good, I think. We've obviously scored. Zhao had a pretty decent chance when he went through 1-on-1. I'd say after the first 10-15 minutes, Swansea really haven't looked in the game, in all honesty, in terms of going forwards at least.
No, I agree. They haven't really been in that much at all. I've had a couple of shots which are deflected for corners or gone over the bar, but if we can keep this energy, it's not been sparkling in midfield or anything, but the return of Swift has been key, Matt.
Absolutely, yeah. And having the four of them, as the attacking four for the first time in God knows how long, I think that can't be understated. And I think everyone's seen our record with Swift in the team this season when he plays. we actually, I don't even know. I don't think we have lost it, have we? With him actually within the team, and you combine that with Yak back playing, Zhao as well. It's our strongest lineup going forwards, and we can see what they can do. I think we just now need to, look forward and think, right, if we can keep these group of players together, add some depth in there so we can rotate them a little bit, and yeah.
It's coming out, Jamie. You know it. The country knows it. Berkshire knows it. Everybody knows it. Matthijs is going to be on the piss with Dar Young on the pitch, mass rave. That's what's happening. It's coming.
If this is going to happen, a lot of people, including us, are going to be eating a lot of humble pie over summer.
I'll take that. I will take that.
Humble pie, however, is my favourite kind of pie. So.
It's not out of the realms of possibility yet, though, either, because Barnsley are not there yet. They've got to play Preston and Norwich. It's not out of the realms of possibility.
On that one. When you get goals like the one they had yesterday, and outside Waitrose, I'm all in for that. If we win today, I want to be outside Waitrose. I don't care. I'm just kidding. It's good fun. It's a laugh, isn't it? It's nothing.
It's the home from home Waitrose.
This is really, I agree, Ed, with this so much. If Swift is in the squad, it means you don't have to rely on Elise in the centre all season. And we all know, and we can all appreciate how talented Elise is. But at the end of the day, he's 19, and wanting him to play 40 games this season for 85 minutes every game, given that Semedo gets 5 minutes every game for him, was probably asking a lot. Even for someone of his talent, you need rotation options. And Swift. If Swift had been around, I think most of us will probably agree that we'd probably be in the playoffs if Swift had been fit this season.
Yeah. Unfortunately, his legs are made of. I don't know what they're made of. You just don't know how he's going to see off. We just need a season when he plays 35, 40 games, and then we could do really well because he just gets everything together.
We only have to look at the Stam season, right, when he played 35 games.
Yeah,
absolutely. And got, what was it? Did he hit double figures, or was it 9 goals he got that season?
I think he got 9. Yeah,
9. Yeah, which we know what he can do. And just looking at the games, actually, to be fair, last season he had played 41 games. The Stam season was 36, but this season 9. It's just like. Even if we can get 35 games out of him, like you say, Paul, you don't know what his legs are made out of. I think Venetian glass is what I'd use to describe his legs. Beautiful, but ridiculously fragile.
It's made out of brittle spaghetti. That's the problem. You just don't know when it's going to break at some point. Hopefully, I'm sure he just wants to be out on the pitch. I don't think there's any doubt on that. When he gets out there, he has an influence on the game, always. What is this thing about Bulldog? Everyone's like, might as well bring him on. Well, he's done all right in the last couple of games that he's come on, to be honest. He's done okay. Just watching this Lucas Zhao chance here.
This is, I mean, like today we've seen the Lucas Zhao that, he's been a bit down over the last 5 games. Obviously, he didn't play the last game and obviously went off injured the game before. But, I mean, it's not quite been the same Lucas Zhao that we've seen. But, I mean, today his hold-up play has been good. He's been running at defenders, chopping inside and out. That's the Zhao that we remember from the start of the season. And it's just been a shame he just couldn't quite find it in the past few weeks and month, really. But
I just realised that Glenn Murray's in the Sky...
I love Sky's pundits' choice when they go for Reading FC pundits. I mean, getting Matt Mills in. I mean, I don't think anyone would classify him as a Reading pundit. Glenn Murray, had a great half season with Reading, but I mean, it's a player that played half a season for us. Come on, like.
I think they're struggling, aren't they, to find the good people that are available or good enough. I mean, I'm just throwing that chance that Swansea had right at the beginning of the match.
I have no idea how good
How did he miss this?
It's crazy, yeah.
He's miles onside. All he's got to do is put this back across the goal, and that's 1-0.
It's a sensational cross from. I didn't see who put it in, but it's a brilliant cross.
I'm just scrolling through social media just to see kind of what the reaction is, and everybody is in agreement that basically the reason that we're playing like this is because John Swift is back in the side.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I don't think it's not outlandish to say it. I think we all know what he can do. We all know how much we've missed him this season. I know you sometimes look at it and you understate it when he's out of the team, but you see him back in, and like, yes, he's not always going to play up to 100% every single game, but this is what you get when he's on song, and it's not a coincidence. It's not a coincidence, I don't think, and it's not a coincidence that we've played well when he's been in the team in the season.
Yeah, if he'd been around, we probably would have been in the playoffs, as we said. Amy, the Swansea don't look fantastic, in all honesty. Having listened to you on the preview podcast earlier this week, I think your pessimistic viewpoint might be maybe more realistic than we were anticipating, because at the minute it doesn't really look like a playoff side. I think we've got who else is in the playoffs? Bournemouth are confirmed in the playoffs now, aren't they, Matt?
Bournemouth are confirmed. Well, everyone's confirmed, but Swansea and Swansea.
I don't think Barnsley are confirmed yet, are they?
Yeah, no. They and if they lose, that's what I say. If Barnsley lose,
in fact, Bournemouth aren't either. Yeah, I mean it's all but confirmed, given their goal difference is plus 30. Yeah. But Barnsley and Swansea are the two which are, in inverted commas, at risk if Reading were to win 2 in a row, which is still unlikely. But we'll keep the faith, right?
Yeah, exactly. We'll keep believing until the, as to bring in the football cliche, until it's mathematically done.
I mean, how can you not? Isn't that football, right?
Exactly. Absolutely. Yeah. And
even the Wickham fans, I saw them this week. They were still they're all still clinging on to some faint hope that they might stay up this season, and they're 6 points behind Derby with 2 games to go. But yeah. They've won. I think they've won 3 out of the last 6. If they win their last 2, then they've got a chance of staying up still. And however unlikely it is, you hope is part of being a football fan.
Absolutely, and I think I don't know if you heard it, but Gareth Ainsworth's interview after the game yesterday. I mean, he was as upbeat as ever for him, and and even said, well, even if it does come to it, we'll look to promotion next year. It is what you do as a football fan. You're always looking for the most optimistic viewpoint, like almost we are at the moment. But yeah, it's we'll never lie down until it's done. So we can keep the faith, keep the unrealistic faith, maybe.
We'll maybe be disappointed, but we'll still have hope, right?
Exactly.
I think. There's still, I mean, don't get me wrong, there's still like a very small chance that Reading are going to make the playoffs now. But if we're talking very, very, very big hypotheticals here, if Reading were to win this game and win next week against Norwich, and you go into that final game needing to beat Huddersfield and get lucky from either Barnsley or Swansea, if Reading were to end up making the playoffs after winning their last 3, people would definitely fancy us. I think. I know I'm talking very big hypotheticals here. It's the hope that kills us, Steve.
I'm assuming you've put the comment up from Amy there.
Yes, we did.
Yeah. So we need to get Amy on. That's what we need to do. The Swansea side, get an opposition view on whilst it's going on. If she's up for that, we could do that.
Yeah.
Why not? I haven't said that. If Swansea score when Amy was on, that would be a killer for us, wouldn't it?
If Swansea score while she was on, we'd have to take her straight back off.
We'd have to take her off. No, we wouldn't do that. So, second half, be interesting to see how long Swift will last today, because surely he's not going to do a whole 90. I mean, I wouldn't think so. But as I said at the beginning, I want to see a little bit more of Tete. I want to see how he goes.
Yeah, I think first and foremost it needs to be the win. That I wouldn't be bringing Tetek on even if it's still 1-0. We need to keep everything solid. I think first and foremost we need to get get the win. Don't start playing about with things, at 60 minutes, when it's 1-0. Just make sure if it gets to 2-0, maybe, but at 1-0, eyes have got to be on just getting the win.
I'd get him on. Just get him on. Just get him on, because I think he's got a little bit of magic in him. And I think that's the kind of player that we need. He might be erratic, and he might be like Elise at the moment in some ways because he's so young. But I think this is the kind of game which he'd love to play in. He strikes me whenever I've seen him that he's got that attitude. I want to be out there. I deserve to be there. Some young players come in and they kind of not sure. But I think he's got a certain swagger about him. And I like that. He's going to go out there and say, yeah, I'm going to try these difficult passes. Even in the short amount of time I've seen him play, he's played quite a few through balls. God, that was not difficult. That was not easy to say. Struggling with that one.
Bit too early in the morning for those tongue twisters, Paul.
Yeah. Yeah. God. Yeah. What time it is? Yeah. It's 1 o'clock, isn't it? God, I hate these kickoffs. I absolutely
hate everything out. It just throws everything of your Sunday, even on a Saturday, just out the window. Lunchtime kickoffs.
What is in the traditional Matt Lansley Sunday then? Is it a roast? A bit of Scrabble in the afternoon, bit of Sky.
Well, it's a relaxing morning. It's a pan au chocolat in the morning. Staying in bed till about 10:30. Maybe getting up and having a shower. Maybe going out to the driving range or something on Sunday. Yeah. But it just throws everything out of kilter. Having to.
It's good to know. It's good to know the inside world of Lansley. Yeah. What we need to do is win our games, and that's just why it's disappointing in the games that we saw against. Trying to think who we played recently, Cardiff and Luton. Those games are gone, but if you go out there and win them, it just gives you so much more of an opportunity, because also you don't get that negativity around. You're not always relying on the results. At least you're doing your bit, and we haven't been able to do that. And we haven't really come that close in those last two games, have we, Matt?
No, it's been subpar. Like you say, you control what you can control, and that's winning your games, which we haven't quite done, but it's not out of the realms of possibility to beat Norwich. Yes, they've got a lot that's on the line for them, but keep believing. So
it has to be said, by the way, if we do end up winning the last three and don't get into the playoffs, what will we finish on? 77?
77.
If you were to score 77 points and not make the playoffs most seasons, you would feel very, very disappointed with that. So
yeah,
if we do win the last three and don't make the playoffs, like there's only it won't be Reading are to blame. 77 points is still a very strong season in reality. It's I think it's got to be recognised that the teams around us have also had a very good season. We are just lining up to kick off.
That Medeski pitch is looking
underway.
Magnificent. For so many seasons, now we've got rid of the rugby, thankfully, in London Irish. The pitch looks fantastic.
Yeah, absolutely. It looks resplendent. And can I just say, how cool did Ovi look on the centre circle there? Just casually doing some kickoffs, puts it down, kicks off. Oh, you got to love the guy sometimes. His swagger is just...
I love Ovi. I'm consistent. I'm sticking with him.
Swansea having a break.
It's nowhere near that.
Goal kick.
Yeah, wide and over, high, wide, and not at all handsome, as they always used to say.
So, do you think we're going to see this out then, Matt?
On the first half showing, yeah, Swansea need to change something for the second half, because they're pretty blunt, really, weren't they, for the most part? And only one team looked like scoring, and that was Reading. On the first half performance, absolutely. Let's just hope we can keep going. It's weird. Swansea just aren't even pressing, are they, at the moment? That's a very either perfectly judged or
brilliant pass, or it's like
I was either perfectly judged or just a very bit lucky. But we're on the break now. Richards out wide on the left, crosses it. Headed away. It's offside anyway.
Yeah.
But yeah, no, I think if we keep up what we did in the first half, it was nearly the perfect performance, really, wasn't it? So
yeah, I think I hope we do. That's all I just hope. I'm going to go on the hope side.
We all live in hope, though, don't we? So
What kills you, isn't it?
exactly,
It's the killer, isn't
exactly.
Yeah.
That's not very well taken down there, though.
No.
Free kicks on the.
Is it
Taking
worth giving
free
away
kick.
a free kick there? I know he didn't get booked, so it doesn't really matter at the end of the day. But Jamal Lowe with it out wide on the left now as well, crossed it in. Oh, that was an open header.
That's a free header.
That's a chance for Cullen there.
Cullen for
That's a massive
Swansea,
chance there, isn't it? How is he not? He's not even got it on target. He's not even near in the end.
He's in miles of space. Like, I don't quite know who's supposed to be picking him up there, because he's about 2 yards off the defensive line of Moore and Holmes, and Lauren and Renamoto are nowhere to be seen. He's in acres of space.
He's kind of drifted into that hole in between the defence and the midfield there, hasn't he?
Yeah,
you can see the frustration there from the Swansea players, though.
Oh, of course.
Because they're thinking, if we manage to get only 5 points behind them, and forgetting that, they also means they've lost another game or another poor result. It's a little bit of pressure with their form, because they are in really poor form and they're not looking great.
Yeah, I think if you're a Swansea fan, and if Amy's still watching, she can confirm it, you've got to be a little bit worried if they lose today, because I know Derby have lost like 95 games in a row or something. But when you're fighting for your life at the bottom of the table, and then you end up playing a team without any form, we've all seen it when we've watched Reading. Those are the games when at least Reading have collapsed in the past and just given 3 points up.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
and it just seized out. It seized out into players, into fans, everyone.
The one thing, the hope that they have is that AU comes back. That's a big factor for them. I mean, if he comes on today, he could do something in one moment as well, couldn't he? Yeah. He's got the possibility of doing it. He doesn't do it every single week, obviously, but he can.
That's a foul, yeah. Leaving a little bit on Lucas Zhao there, Cabango, but he's staying down as well, Zhao. I never like it when Zhao stays down.
No.
None of us do, Matt.
I think he'd be fine now. I think it's just an impact one, isn't it? I don't think he's...
Was it even? Was it a bit of a stud in the back of the heel, or... Couldn't really see it from that angle. He's back. He just. Oh,
that's a good free kick.
I mean, technically, is that a shot on target?
Yeah, it is. That's a good free kick from John Swift there.
It was a good free kick, but that was not a shot, really, was it? It was a.
No, I think it was still count, but it's not really a
pass. It was a touch.
Yeah, it's a corner to Swansea after a quick counter attack. I can see the game opening up a little bit now in the second half, because Swansea will feel like if they can just go out and get a goal, then that pretty much just puts paid to the rest of their season up until the playoffs. Then
did we actually take the lead against them on the last day last season? I think we might have with Liam Moore.
No, I don't think we did. No, I think we came back at 2-1, didn't we? It was either 2-1 or 1-1. We came back. I think it might be 1-1, because then we just collapsed in the last 10.
Oh, I know we collapsed. Yeah, we collapsed. Yeah, that is. What's going on here?
Just lots of
battle between and Bidwell. Yeah, I expected to see more from the Swansea fullbacks.
I think I just expected to see more of Swansea as a whole, to be honest. I mean, it's a long way to go yet, and they've come out with more fighting gusto in them, but it's a short corner played back about 10 yards outside the box, crosses in.
That's good pressure. That's good pressure, though.
Yeah. Jaria out.
Don't give away a free kick there, though.
No, it's just
it's bordering on that, though, wasn't it?
It was bordering on it. Yeah, but not quite enough. So
I don't know why I feel nervous about this, because in all probability, it's not going to matter, is it?
Well, the nerves are there, though, because we've still got a chance, right? That's the thing. Like, however small that chance is, as Matt and I were saying when we went off at half time.
Yeah, no, you're right. It is still there. Yeah.
You're gonna hope until, I mean, maybe not everybody, but the hope is amongst football fans in the majority, is going to stay until it isn't there.
Yeah.
No. And it is good. It's good if we can take it into the last 2 games of the season. We have to win this game, though. If we do that,
Oh my God.
Very well done by Raphael.
Lawrence got away with a massive one there.
Raphael has absolutely just dug him out of the hole there.
Yeah. He does very well as well, Raphael. Very good on his toes.
He reacted really quickly there, didn't he? Yeah.
Very good from him. Who was the tackle on? Was it on Holmes there, or
no, it was on Lauren?
Oh, it was on Lauren. Blimey.
Yeah, he hasn't really done anything else like that this season. That's not normally his thing. He's
normally very, very good, very protective, and
if he thinks that's going to happen, normally he goes low, no risk, just get rid of it, which is the correct thing to do.
Yeah.
Okay, so watching
caught here though, doesn't he? Just doesn't expect.
I mean, he plays the ball to him more, but he's got plenty of time. I don't think the pass from Moore is the issue.
No, he just gets caught by the pressure almost. He just doesn't realise he's being pressed there, doesn't he? Which, like I say, is very uncharacteristic of him. But good goalkeeping by Raphael at the end of the day to smother it and make sure nothing comes of it. So,
I quite like a second goal now.
Lovely. Oh, we all
Lovely play there.
Brilliant from Richard. That's fantastic. Oh, the pass just a little bit ahead of Ajari.
Can he get there? Yeah, Ajari's got there though.
Yeah.
Can he get the ball in, Ovi? Just
points like this when Ajari going past them and looking for a penalty.
Yeah.
But instead, he's managed to win the corner, which is decent.
This is when you want Morrison.
Yeah.
Or McIntyre.
Morrison or McIntyre.
You're right. Either of those 2 players.
Or Tom Holmes if he's around. No, let's see him get his first goal for the club at last.
Yeah. Would be a very fitting time to get it.
The corner comes in from Swift.
That's lucky.
I don't think it's a terrible one, but well defended by Swansea.
Very well defended.
Yeah.
No, it was
like in there, the ball kind of like rolled back into the area and nobody really attacked the ball.
Nobody went for it for about a second, did they?
Yeah. It was almost like they just expected it to be, given as a free kick or something. I'm not really sure what happened.
That's a great tackle there.
Really well played by Liam Moore.
Yeah, Liam Moore.
Yeah.
That's fantastic play. He's won it back about 30.
The referee's gone away there.
Come on, referee.
Got to be. That's a drop ball for us now, isn't it?
Yeah, I think we get the ball. They've changed the rule on that in the last couple of years. They give the ball straight back if it touches the referee now.
So hard to keep up.
None of that. I don't know if Paul, you'll probably remember this more possibly than Matt. The Norwich City game in 2004 when the ball bounces off the referee and Darren Huckabee scores in the very late on.
I think it's Fillmore.
Cross into the box for Reading.
Yeah. Yeah, because it totally changed the path of where the ball was going.
It bounces off the referee's back as he's trying to duck under the ball. And Darren Huckabee scored from about 15 yards or something, didn't he?
I think it was Fillmore round. I think it was. But yeah. Yeah, that was I think it was 2004. I think it's when they won the league. I know too much about Norwich. I need to move on from that. Worthy champions. Nigel Worthing. Here we go then. Oh, shit, Lucas Chow.
Don't know if that's quite the right ball there, but
but you don't want to pass hitting your own player when he's completely unaware of it, do you?
No.
So I'm on 55 minutes and 48 seconds.
Yeah, we're still in line with the score clock up here somewhere, just past 56 minutes. I'm never going to get this because my camera flips everything, and I just lose all.
You got it right, so don't worry about it. It's all good.
Managed to get it there, just there. We're at 56-15, so 10 minutes into the second half, and Reading are still leading 1-0. Swansea have. Yeah, I mean, Swansea have created that one chance, haven't they, in the first half?
We nearly gifted them one from Lauren, didn't we?
And we almost just completely handed them a golden opportunity.
Mm-hmm. coming down their right-hand side. Just building a little bit of pressure here. That's good from Ovi to block out for a corner, though.
Very good block. Would you probably maybe look at bringing Ovi off 65, 70 minutes? Because he's not quite got into this game, has he, today, Ovi? But
who would you bring on for him?
Probably Elise.
Elise, yeah.
Yeah.
But I would be surprised because I don't think, as Paul said, I'm not sure that Swift will last 90 minutes either.
Yeah, no, it's true. There's a ball in, and it's dropped to the back post with low, and it's a great block there by Moore.
Well done, Moore.
He was dribbling across
We're just starting to get a little bit pushed back into our own area here. Swansea building pressure.
Just shepherd it out. Well in. Well played, Richards. Actually, it was just probably going to be dribbling across where the shot wasn't.
I think that
going.
was a tap in, to be honest, if Liam Moore's not there.
Oh yeah. No, it's a tap in for number 20. If it doesn't, it's a good piece of defending. It wasn't actually low, was it? I think it was one of the defenders, number 5, whoever.
Vidra missed the penalty.
Of course he did.
Vidra's not a bad player.
He's
had
not.
a rough time at Reading. A rough time.
Well, you look at pretty much everywhere else he's gone, he scores, doesn't he? So it's like whatever happened that season, it was just that's lovely bit of
Go on, Ovi.
from Ovi and Richards. Zhao on the edge of the box. Come on, Zhao. I just can't fashion this.
Zhao has just turned himself inside out there and just doesn't find the space.
He just couldn't quite make it. He's very good at making space in those sort of areas. But
I tell you what, Moore is having a good game.
Yeah.
I'm not going to worry about the pass, but he's having a good game. Yeah.
Nice bit of pressing from Zhao there, and Swansea kick it long, and it's recycled by Reading. Holmes back to Raphael. So
Holmes seems to have got over his shaky first 10 minutes or 15 minutes when he was getting a little bit.
I think one of Holmes's weaknesses is probably the fact that he's not quite that quick.
Yes. Yeah, that's true.
He does have the touch of Alex Pearce about him in that sense.
I was just about to say, yeah.
Positionally, he's got a better touch than Alex Pearce.
Oh, no, yes. I fully agree. But positionally, he does have a lovely pass.
Come on, Zhao.
Got it?
Oh, he's offside.
Offside.
Yeah, positionally, he reminds you of Alex Pearce. He's very good defensively, but he just lacks that tiny little bit of speed, so he will get beaten by some players. It looks like Swansea are lining up a substitution.
It's probably IU, isn't it? I think.
You, wouldn't it?
You would have thought.
Yeah.
We'd hope it isn't, but the old 60-minute substitution.
Have we looked like we're going to score in the second half?
Not
really.
Yeah.
No.
Yeah, not as much as in the first half. So, but Swansea definitely fashioning some chances, and again they're out on the left, cross into the box to no one. More heads away, and Swift clears up to Zhao, who can't bring it in. Yeah, you know Swansea getting a stranglehold on the game at the moment, really, aren't they? A little bit.
Definitely.
Having more possession, exploiting the wide positions. I mean, you said, Paul, just after half time that you're a bit disappointed with the fullbacks of Swansea. They're definitely finding more space now.
Yeah, they are.
But as Zhao, come on,
Lucas.
Oh, I just can't quite.
Just misses that.
The ball bounced the wrong way as well, didn't it?
Yeah. Spinning the wrong way. But it's
got slightly outstrength there, which isn't something you say about Lucas Zhao very often, is it?
Not often, no.
No.
But, I mean, it's good from Zhao, though. I mean, Laurent again nearly wins the ball as well, high up. I mean, Zhao's full of running today, which is something that hasn't quite always been there. He's looked lively, looked active. Holmes wins the ball very well, and Raphael.
There's
claims.
So there's going to be 100%. If we win today, there's 1,000% going to be a conversation around why have we shown this energy today and not against Cardiff or Luton. And I can give you at least 3 reasons why straight away. 1, Lucas Zhao's had 2 games off now, and then definitely going to have regained some form of energy, stamina, whatever you want to call it. 2, John Swift's in the team. as Swansea break forwards here.
Jamal Lowe with it running into
the area.
Pressure. Yeah.
Good defending though, again by Reading, just pressuring them back out.
Shepherded him across and out very, very well. It was a very poor loss of possession really from Yedon, which again we don't normally say very often, but
it was taking a high risk there in the middle of the pitch, wasn't he? With the
massive, yeah.
But 2 players, I think.
Forced them all the way back though to the halfway line, pretty much. Which is good.
Yeah, they have defended that.
And then it's well cut out. Liam Moore's having a very good game.
No, that was Richards. That was Richards.
Is that Richards? I'm watching on such a tiny little box here. It's very difficult to tell who's who.
I think
I'm still struggling with the
haircuts when you see it from a distance as well.
I'm still struggling with the kits, let alone like who's who.
It is Reading versus Swansea. I'm just letting you know, Alex.
Yeah.
Cheers.
And it is 1-0 to Reading.
I wasn't 100%. And third reason that we've got a bit more energy is we've scored first.
Yeah. Makes a huge difference. Yeah. Totally. It saps your energy when you just have to think, oh, I'm going to have to fight back again.
Given the record as well, given the record of Reading, players, they're going to know that, and it's going to just have a little bit of a mental stigma. But Richards bringing it out again up the left.
That was a lovely pass there from Raphael to him as well.
That was a very good pass for Raphael.
On the overlap.
That's a good overlap.
Go on. Oh, I thought.
I thought he scored.
The best we've seen in the second half. Not the easiest chance there.
No, tight angle, but that was one of those where it hits the side netting and you think the keeper's like blocked it into the inside of the side.
That would be nice, yeah.
All the Swansea fans everywhere going,
should you do a little bit better on target at least?
Yeah, I think he probably should do better there in all honesty.
I mean, if he gets that on target, he's probably going to save it, but that's what you want your striker there, isn't it? You want Mate or...
Yeah. I think it's a triple substitution here for Swansea, isn't it? Can't quite see who's coming on and coming off yet, but triple substitution. So Swansea ringing the changes. It's definitely Ayew coming on.
Yeah.
You've got Routledge, Cullen and Norton off for Ayew, Whittaker and Roberts coming on. So big changes.
Ayew concerns me. I won't lie on that. He definitely worries me that he's on the pitch now, because we know he can twat one in from 25 yards. Unsurprisingly, John Swift is going off as well.
Yeah. For Elise, you'd think. Yeah, Michael Elise coming on. So straight swap for Reading as well. And Mate off for Semedo as well.
Okay.
Paunovic. I
have to say, I'm not fully against it. I don't think Mate's done that much in the second half.
Yeah, maybe.
You're bringing Semedo. Actually, I guess Semedo is going to play that number 10 role, and Elise is going to be out on the right.
Yeah, I'm not like. I don't think it's the worst. I mean, it's not great, but you're just not full of options. I'd rather have a player come on who's got a little bit of, pace and energy in them rather than Semedo potentially. But it's I'm not going to complain too much about it, I guess.
Yeah, and just dropped into that number 10 role as well. So I mean, it's a more defensive option. Maybe Paunovic has seen the point that we've come under pressure more in this half. But I mean, you'd be much more comfortable seeing Semedo playing in a centre mid position if that's the case, not in a number 10, which is where he's
already losing his mind. With the other players, other Swansea players, losing.
Angry guy, isn't he? He's built very, very well as well. He's not obviously that tall, but he's built pretty well. He's quite no,
definitely. He is a unit. Don't try and take him on in anything. No.
Oh, and he's just completely done there more.
That is exactly what he can do, isn't it?
It's Fulton, bring it forward. Fulton, good save by Raphael.
Raphael.
Raphael, you
can't knock that.
How many times is Raphael going to do this?
I don't know. He's just let that right into his path. Yeah. I mean, it's a save, but then he just puts it right into the area where you don't want to put it. It's a tackle. It's a great bit of skill there from Ayew, though. That's what set it up, hasn't it?
Yeah, it's lovely from Ayew, but Raphael, I mean, it's not even that far away from him. It's really not far away from him. and he's just palmed it straight on a plate to Jamal Lowe, 6 yards out. It's just dreadful from Rafa. That's just shocking.
Yeah,
Absolutely shocking.
I
And
thought-
we've lost, obviously, Swift and Mayte on the pitch now as well, which just completely changes the complexion of the game. You know, our two main threats essentially in the first half, Swift and Mayte. Yes, Swift coming back from injury. Same with Mayte, but
yeah, there's
it's not a.
there from
Jeez, that is
a big impact straight away. Just with that moment, but Federici, Raphael.
That's so frustrating. I can't like
Why are they showing League One?
getting a quick League One table there.
Wrong table.
Just randomly,
Got
I'm
shade
not
of the icon
sure
like that.
the substitution that Reading made. I think
It's
we
just
should have
a-
made the substitution with Swift. Mate's a debatable one, but I think we're still going to concede that goal there.
Yeah, but I'm like, I mean, you just like surely you've got to leave Mate on for at least 5-10 minutes longer. You know, you don't bring
We
Mate
do
off
also have
the
Elise
area.
as well.
That's a free kick.
Yeah.
But this is prime Swift distance. That's the most frustrating thing
Yeah, but
now.
you
You know,
I mean, we were saying it last week. Swift never looked fit in last week anyway, did he?
Yeah, you just can't keep playing him, though, Matt. You can't just, you know,
it's true.
if he's not fit, he's not fit enough.
Yeah.
And that's just unfortunately where it is.
It's just frustration, isn't it? It's the frustration of
Yeah.
we want him fit, we need him fit, but yeah.
I mean,
And
I
this-
love Swift free kicks, but he hasn't banged in 20 for Reading. You know, you have to be realistic here. He is better than Elise, I would say, on these.
He
But
always gets them on target, though. He
yeah,
always
but he doesn't
gets
go
them
in
on
all
target.
the time, though, does it?
He scored a lot. He scored a
Here we
lot.
go.
I
Then.
think
Elise
people underestimate
free
the
kick anyway.
free kicks he's taken. But yeah,
Here we go.
now's the time, Elise. Straight into the wall, over and for a corner kick. Want a corner at least. So we've got a chance here. Direction actually looked good there from the free kick if he got it over the wall, but is it going to be Elise or Ovi? Elise, it looks like on the free kick. A short to Ovi as well on the right. Ovi knocks it. Oh, is that on the back post?
No,
Yeah,
it's,
we
just
want
only
something.
gonna-
Now he's crying for a penalty there.
it's not a penalty, I bet. He does it every week, doesn't he?
He does, but I mean, there's
I mean,
arms
that's a
around. I
penalty.
mean, that's a penalty. That is, he's got a shout there. He's got his arm right around him.
But he's never going to get the ball at all, is he? Though? Come
That's
on.
a penalty. Either way, it doesn't matter if you're going to get the
Yeah, I
ball
was
or
gonna-
not.
he's
We
got his
saw it
arm-
at Barnsley.
He's got his arm wrapped around him.
It probably was a penalty. It probably was, but Jesus Christ.
Yeah, but it's a penalty and it's a chance to get 2-1
You
back.
think we scored the penalty?
It was more of a penalty than the first half.
Yes,
And it's not quite identical, but it's a very similar scenario to the Barnsley penalty that we gave away from Yeardom.
Exactly.
Yeah,
He has
that's
his arm
true,
done, and he doesn't really have a chance to get the ball, but he's given away the foul. I don't understand how that's not a penalty. I mean, the referee clearly is not looking. You can see him in the background. He's not seen that at all because he's watching.
But the
ball.
linesman's got to see that. That's where the linesman's got to help. You know, he's just rugby tackled him to the ground. You know, hand on the shirt as well, or grappling the shirt. Swansea bring it forward now. Raphael claims. Jamal Lowe trying to hassle him as well. But yeah, that's. I don't know what it is. Like we've not really had the rub of the green, have we? With certain.
We haven't been good enough now. That's the main issue. We can't forget the games against Luton, Cardiff, QPR.
Oh no! I'm not making any bones about that. But Semedo's got it
Kick
wide
of
on the
Semedo
left
forward
now.
with the ball.
Come on, Semedo.
He's
I
got a
want you
shot.
to-
I haven't even gone with that. That's fine. He's got
It
a
was good
corner.
play. Semedo, I want you to shut me up about this substitution, please. Bang a goal in.
If Semedo gets a goal, we'll all be delighted.
We
Absolutely.
can still win this. We can still win this game. We've actually, since Swansea have scored, we've looked the more likely to score a goal
Yeah.
now. So
And since the substitution,
I think Reading will. You've got to imagine this will be pretty almost attack versus defence for the last 20 minutes
Yeah.
as well.
Yeah.
At least with the near post corner.
I think he shanked that corner.
Yeah, Reading's. I mean, even all season really with Elise, we've gone for these near post corners and looked for a runner into the near post. There's a Swansea player down with some kind of head injury, which is probably absolutely fine in all reality.
Yeah, we all know players do it.
Showing the.
I'm still.
Yeah, it's. I mean, that's for me. That's 100% a penalty.
I'm not surprised we haven't seen that intensity level, although, Rob, because I think they're knackered. I think that's the major.
I was going to say it's 5 months on. The thing that's missing is energy and
confidence as well.
Confidence as well. Yeah, Rob's right. There is definitely some confidence missing. But energy is the main thing. Just actual physical and mental energy of playing for pretty much 2 games a week for 8 months. I think that's a decent-ish save by Raphael there, straight at him kind of, but
kept hold of it this time at least.
Yeah, I'd like to know what people think about that, Raphael. I mean,
if I speak,
you mean generally, or
no, I'm just thinking, is it about that one goal, or would you want to see a goalkeeper change next season? What do people think about Raphael? I mean, I think he's okay in the Championship. I don't think he's terrible or anything, but
I think it's probably a case to be made of if you think that you're going to try and get a top 2 spot. I'm not sure Raphael will get you there. If you're chasing a playoff spot, I think Raphael, if he has a reasonable season, will probably get you in and around it, right?
Yeah.
But he's going to cost you some points at some point in the season. I'm not sure he's going to win you 20. He's not going to win you 15 points.
No.
Mm-hmm. And I think it's fair to say that this season he's
free kick here. It's into our area. It's too easy though.
Way over though.
No, that's not
quite. I know he keeps it and wins a throw. That's brilliantly done by Obi. Very well done.
That's right.
I think on the Raphael thing though, I think something's got to be remembered. He did have a good season last year. If we can get this season, he's made more mistakes than we saw last year. So I think if we can get him back to the level of last year, I think he could help us get to top 6. But I think if he has another season like this next year, it's going to be a struggle because there's been a lot of times in the season this year where he's been relatively poor. But
is he out of contract at the end of next season, Raphael?
I think it's the end of next one. Yeah,
I think it's 3. Yeah, so yeah, it would be next year.
I think you, with that in mind, I'm not really sure getting another keeper is going to end up being a priority this summer, realistically.
No, you're going to be looking at left back spot, probably wingers, and potentially an Elise replacement, wouldn't you? Really
decent ball in by Richards there.
Oh,
Eric, would you rather have Donatello or Michelangelo?
Yeah.
That joke goes straight over the head of these two by the looks of it, unfortunately.
Yeah. No, I got it. It's Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles, isn't it? Yeah.
Alfie says, doesn't think Raphael is all that good. Maybe if we gave Salford a new contract. He's obviously nothing like Martinez. We can all see that, yeah. I don't think Salford will be here next season, in all honesty. I think he's out of contract in the summer, and I think realistically there's not a huge incentive for Salford to sign a new deal. I think we'll probably end up seeing
as well.
Yeah, I think we'll probably end up seeing Anderson. Is it not Anderson? Sorry, Andreasen as our second keeper next season. Who's on loan? He's on loan at Exeter at the moment. I think he'll be the second keeper next year. And I imagine we'll probably have Raphael in goal next year still.
Yeah, well, he's been impressing a lot on loan, hasn't he? As well, I know the Exeter fans absolutely love him, but it's a
quick free kick.
Come on, Obi.
Come on, Obi.
That's it.
Oh, he does hit it. He does hit it, but well blocked.
Very good block. Tomato.
I don't think there's much more he could have done there.
Don't give away foul.
No.
keeping it in the midfield at the moment. Laurent plays it back to Holmes, and Holmes out to Richards
How
as
she
well.
come back more into the game after the Swansea goal? I mean, we weren't awful for it.
Yeah.
But yeah, we definitely haven't collapsed. We haven't it's not been a Swansea barrage since, has it, at all?
Well, I think half of it is though, because since the Swansea goal, we need to get a goal now, don't we? We can't stick for a draw. A draw is not good enough. If we draw today, that's it for playoffs. So I think the players know that. They would have been a little hesitant.
What I'm saying is we've stayed in the same shape, and we're still. I'd say overall we probably should be winning this game now, but
we've had chances. We've had chances for sure. It's been quite open though. I think when you get to this stage of the season, I think it's always going to be open, isn't it? When you get to must-win games, at least swings in the corner, and we've got a free kick, so I can win a corner.
It is time for Tom Holmes to get his first goal.
Yeah,
this is what we need now, isn't it? We need.
It's time for anyone to score. Raphael to get his first goal for Reading. Come up,
Raphael. Yeah, last minute. Oh, I love that. At least with the corner. It's not a bad corner at all. Right into that area, but
that's out. Come on, that's out. That's got to be out. Oh, linesman, come on. And he's handled the ball. Jeez.
Free kick Reading again.
Oh, come on, ref. He's a yard away.
ME.
That is.
It's not even close. It's definitely ME. It's definitely.
I was going to say, I don't think Raphael really gets into the top 5 chat, really, of Reading goalkeepers, I think, in all honesty. So that's.
Reading free kick here, 35 yards out?
Wide.
Good ball in, Elise.
Come on.
Back stick, and it is.
He still gets that though, Semedo.
He has, and he's won a corner. He's done very well there.
Decent play by Semedo there.
Yeah, I don't know why the goalkeeper didn't claim it, because the goalkeeper seemed to come for it and then leave it, which was very strange. Certainly not complaining. So at least let's have a decent corner. We haven't got obviously Yak play for, but let's. Oh, and it's just not.
Looks like it's going to be away.
Swansea on the counter now. 2 or 3 on 3. It's a great tackle. Great tackle by Renamotor.
Good to see Charles Watts joined Watchalong. Used to be Reading reporter, obviously now with his 200,000 or so Twitter followers. A ridiculous amount, hasn't he? Absolutely insane. Brilliant journalist there. Swansea coming forward here. We do not need another goal here for Swansea.
Oh,
that's not. Oh, that's fine. That's wide.
Just wide.
Yeah, you can see it was going wide. Yeah.
I
can relax right now.
I couldn't quite get on the end of it either. But I mean, Ayu's changed the game for Swansea, hasn't he, since he's come on?
Yeah,
I think
he's got the quality, hasn't he? He's like a SAR player at Watford.
Yeah.
He's just got the extra edge, hasn't he? He's too good to be playing in the Championship. Is he a brilliant Premier League player? No, but he's too good for the Championship.
Yeah. So
I don't know how much you'd pay to get Ayew. I've no idea, but it'd cost you a lot of money.
I wouldn't say a lot. I'd probably think looking, because he's not that young, is he, anymore? You'd probably be looking about 8 to 10 million as Puskas and
two more subs
going to be brought on. Hopefully, this isn't going to be Fajal and it's going to be 2 up top. Don't do this to Staunovic.
Yeah.
Be interesting.
See, I don't like that. Ovi's a player who can do something in one moment. We need a goal here.
Yeah, but who do you take off? You've just brought on.
Just leave him on.
I mean,
it's quite simple as that.
We're going 2 up top, aren't we?
Well, yeah.
With those subs,
Yeardom's come off for Estevez as well, so we've gone for attacking fullback and obviously striker for the winger. So
I understand replacing Yadom. I get that. I totally understand that. I think that's probably the right move. But taking Ovi off.
I don't think he has too much.
Laurent going off.
Yeah, you can make the argument over it. I can't say I'm overly disappointed with it, but I mean that's a great cutout from Holmes. Oh, and he just Berbers
Tom Holmes. He's bringing it there.
And it's just come to nothing.
Well, it was a decent, okay pass to Estevez, but he completely got caught out there. Pace of the game just killed him. It's a good block there.
Semedo with the block. I'm trying to work out our shape. I can't quite determine our shape at the moment. I think Puskas is definitely playing obviously up top.
There probably isn't one. That's why.
I was going to say when you're this late into the game, you're looking for a goal. It's like no shape needed, really.
True.
No.
Yeah.
Oh, here it comes.
And it's pulled back to IU, and that's done.
Too easy.
Yeah.
Way too easy.
He's literally managed to cut that back when he stood next to the post. Come on.
Yeah.
Absolutely awful there. This is just too easy, isn't it? It's kind of sadly predictable how it's going to go on when IU came on the pitch. He's just made the difference, hasn't he?
Yeah. No, he has. He has, absolutely.
I don't know this. You've let I don't know who the runner is.
You explain to me what Semedo's doing there.
Is it Lawrence? I don't know. I don't really understand Lawrence defending. Like watching the replay.
No,
like here, he doesn't close him down at all.
No one closes down the cross. No one sticks to IU. IU does well on his movement there just to make the space. Richards gets drawn to the near post. Raphael gets drawn out to the near post, and it's just
from between all of them. That's not good.
No, it is. Yeah.
Liam Moore's played well today.
Yeah, I think that's harsh. That's very harsh. I think.
That season over. Unfortunately, I can't see us getting 2 goals here. We can all live in hope of that happening, but I don't think so. I would.
Alex, you did say about a 3-2 thriller, so you're still on for that.
Yeah, if we can find 2 goals in 6 minutes, then you never know. But I'm not gonna hold out too much hope on it now. No. Unfortunately,
no. The substitutions I don't get.
So I think the substitutions are. I don't think they're going to be what's cost us 3 points or anything today. I think we've conceded a pretty weak goal for the first goal, which didn't really have too much to do with the substitutions.
I just don't see what Semedo's bringing whenever he's on the pitch.
Not in the position he gets played in, anyway. Not in the position he gets played in. No. If he gets played deeper, you can see it. But I mean, so many times he gets brought on to play at number 10, and he's just. I mean, how many times we need to say it? He is not a number 10. You know, when he plays deeper, you often see. But he doesn't look good
in most other positions, though, does he? He looks okay defensive midfielder because that is his position. But even then, he drifted.
I mean, aren't we playing him? Aren't we playing him further forwards because we don't have enough players to play further forwards?
Well, if you're going to play a player forward, at some point, why are you having Tete on that bench? There is no point.
Yes, well, I agree on that. But that comes kind of down to the lack of trust from Paunovic in a lot of the squad. He trusts.
Would he have made any difference in this game? Probably not.
No.
But would he? Has Semedo done anything? Will Semedo be here next season? No.
He trusts the players. He trusts, right? And that's he has trust in 7, 8, 9 players, and that's his group.
Yeah.
And yeah, Joe, we if we finish 7th, no, we don't deserve to be in the playoffs. So
no, clearly I agree with that. Yeah,
we
finished where you deserve to be. Yeah.
Yeah. Table doesn't lie. So it's.
And I mean, realistically, all of the teams in the playoffs are probably going to get to 80 points. It's a very, very strong top 6.
Anyone who thinks, I'm assuming that's right, anyone who thinks that Porno out, I mean, we finished 7th. I do not understand that. That's probably the same kind of people that wanted Potter removed from Swansea a few weeks ago as well.
I think there is going to be a slight chance though that he's not here next season. I'm assuming it's Ryan who's watching. There is a chance that Paunovic isn't here next season on the basis of he's probably been brought in to get us promoted. As much as we all might not think that Reading were going to get promoted this season, that was probably part of his thing. Part of his goal for this year was to get promoted.
You can't say he's had a poor season as a fan.
No, I wouldn't say he has.
No.
But we all know that the owner's putting, tens of millions of pounds into this team and is not really getting the returns that he is wanting.
Yeah, but some of that's down to bad choices he's made with people he's employed to make those decisions of who we sign, agents. Yeah, has felt promotion, but he's still had a good season.
Yeah, but I was going to say, I think this is a fair comment from Max. Like, we have had a reasonable season.
Yeah,
it's disappointing though not to be in the playoffs, but it's a reasonable season. I think it's going to be one of these things where people will try to define the season as good or bad, and actually it can be both. Let's be honest.
Yeah, and I completely agree with that, because you hear AD and that on the radio talking about obviously the start of the season. How can you be disappointed, or how can you be happy when? And it's like, well, no one's happy that we've missed out on the playoffs, but you can be relatively content looking at the table, seeing us 7th, not fighting relegation like we have been for the past God knows how long. And you think if Paunovic does stay, there's a good foundation there, and I think you'd almost judge this season on how we go next year. If we can kick on from this season and really make inroads next season, get a bit more depth in the squad. Yes, we might lose 1 or 2 here, but if we can reinvest that, financial fair play allowing, there's a good basis for a team here. And I think that's almost how it might almost be judged from here this season. And obviously, Paunovic.
I just really fear that we won't be able to strengthen. I think we're going to go the opposite way. I know that's depressing, but there's only so many times you can get away with spending the amount of money that we have before the EFL really stamp down
hard.
Yeah, and I think it's going to come this summer. We can't keep on getting away with this by selling off different bits of land. We've got no.
Very little land left. Yeah, I was going to say
exactly. We have nothing. We have nothing.
I think Hogwarts the last one, but I think even Hogwarts owned by the Ties, I think. So,
Lee, unfortunately, Barnsley are actually quite a good team. We all don't think they play very well, but they've won a lot of games.
They win, yeah. They find a way to win.
However much we've all watched Barnsley and said that they're not very good, they do know how to see games out and win games, don't they?
Absolutely.
So that's what you need when you're chasing a playoff spot or chasing a promotion spot.
We have to be a selling team. That's the problem. We just haven't got. We got an owner who thinks that we don't have to do that, which is mad. We have to sell. Every club has to sell players. Even Man City have to sell players at points. Like Sane, if they have to sell players, we surely have to. Frustrating. Owner. It just, yeah.
But I still think there's reason to be optimistic for next season. Of course, everyone's going to be disappointed. You're going to have the Twitter meltdown, but just where would you have rather been this year? Would you have rather had this season this year, or would you have?
Yeah, exactly. That's why I say he's had a good season.
Yeah,
I understand the frustration from people.
Swansea breaking here.
This would probably be a third as well.
Hit the post.
It could be. No,
and then the rebound is put very, very far wide.
Yeah.
Oh, Josh, enjoy the playoffs. I'm sure Barnsley will enjoy sticking it to you in the final or something. So,
yeah, I think Josh, you'll be back here at the Medeski next season, so I wouldn't get too carried away. But enjoy the win. You always beat Reading. We are the team that you love to play. So,
yeah, 13 years and counting. So that's not changed.
Yeah.
So, I think every Reading fan's sick of the sight of Swansea by now. So, if you went up, it probably wouldn't be too bad for us. I'll say that.
The season only feels like a letdown because of the good start, considering where we've been for the last season, a decent finishing spot. If we'd hovered around I think
I 1,000% agree. If we'd finished 7th place this season, we'd been 10th, 9th, 8th all season, and we end up finishing 7th, we'd all think this was a very good season.
Mm-hmm.
But I kind of disagree with that, because I knew we weren't going to finish at the top. I just knew that, and I still think it's slightly disappointing. Not because we finished in 7th; it's the way that we've done it.
Yes, but as Neil says, if we'd been 10th after the first 9 games and we'd ended up finishing 7th, we'd all think that's a reasonably good season, right? But it's how the 7th place has come about, which is going to be disappointing to a lot of people.
Absolutely. Yeah.
Yep, it could be a 12-point deduction. Let me know when you hear from the EFL, Darren. I think this is going to be a horrible last couple of minutes here. We're going to throw everyone forward, aren't we? We're probably not going to have a shot. There'll be frustration on social media, breaking down. Club's a disgrace. Let's sack everyone. But
Fold the club. Just let us all down again.
Go on,
Wind them
Amin.
all out. Let's wind the memes out.
Someone have a shot.
Come on.
Yeah.
Oh. Go on, yes!
Come on,
Estevez.
Go on, Estevez.
Come on. You've got 2 minutes now.
Let's get another one. 3-2 is on.
We've got 2 minutes.
Is he giving offside?
He
Has
can't
he
have been offside, surely.
Has he actually?
No, he hasn't. He has given.
No.
Yeah.
I was wondering what he was doing there. That's a
really good
lovely
finish.
That's a lovely finish,
doesn't it? Yeah.
He's
And
had
Aluko
quite a few
was
this year, hasn't he?
Aluko, when he's come on in games, has done really quite well. Yeah,
Well,
you're
we've
right.
got
You
1
did say
minute.
this all the way through.
Got 1 minute to find a winner, Reading. Come on.
Well,
And if Reading do somehow manage to turn it round, we'll all be delighted.
I think we'll all be at Waitrose tonight if we turn this around.
why are you so negative, Lee? I'm not going to put your comments up, but why are you so negative about absolutely everything? I'm just trying to wind up everyone. It's very odd.
I was going to say, like, I mean, he's
It's not getting
had a
Come
few.
on, there's a
He's had a
minute to
few
go
good.
there. Let's see if we can get another shot. I mean, we haven't got long, so it's not going to be straightforward.
Punted upfield by Laurent, but absolutely no one apart from the Swansea defence.
But it was the right reason to
Come on. Oh, good tackle. Come on, let's break forward. Come on. Oh.
Just put everyone up front.
Come on, home.
Do
a Maradona.
I want to see a corner with Raphael up there. Come on, Estevez. Give him it.
Come on, stick it in the box.
Oh,
Is that a throw in?
that's ours. Yeah, come on.
Come on,
Bring
up
throw him. Get Raphael up. Everyone.
Yeah,
just
get Raphael up. Definitely. I agree.
Everyone. Just get bodies in the box.
What are we doing? Oh, it's just taking ages to take a throw.
We're doing a long throw,
Long
but
throw
get
in.
Raphael up. Everyone, just pump into the box.
Come on.
It's a long, it's to no one, and it's punted away.
It's going to be full time, I think, isn't it?
I would know. We're
Unless the
into
referee
time.
adds 20 seconds for the goal.
Yeah, they're going to add
Come on,
time,
put
and
it-
also
put it in the
Swansea with
box.
time wasting.
Put it in the box.
Come on, Elise.
Come on.
In there.
That's not a good header. That's probably all
That is
over.
it. Yeah. There we
Go
go.
on, Tomato. It's full
Season
time.
over. Another draw. 2-2 at the Medeski Stadium. Estevez with a late equaliser, but that is definitely season over for Reading. There was a little glimmer there for a period of time. I don't think we played that badly today. We gave away the second goal was a particularly poor one. Raphael maybe on the first one, but overall, what do you make of that match, Lansley?
I mean, just disappointing. It's always the hope that kills you, isn't it? The last couple of minutes was interesting, but yeah, I mean, I think it's just I'm just in a bit of a reflective mood. To be fair, I still think, are we disappointed? Of course we are, but let's just remember it for the season it has been. You know, it's been a very good season, all in all. Have we? Well, I think the key is that we've struggled just to find ways to win games at the end of the season, haven't we? Another draw, like you say, we've just not had that final bit that's clicked in games to see games out. Whether that's been down to Paunovic, down to the players, whoever. But yeah, I mean, it's over. Let's look to next season now. I'm still optimistic for next season.
Cool. Cheers. Thanks a lot for everyone for joining us. We will be back at some point, who knows when. But I appreciate everyone joining us. And it's fun either way. It's fun either way, isn't it? So we'll be on the live reaction on Twitter in a moment.